Good morning, everybody. Uh, do we have any speakers today?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. We have three members of the public registered to speak today. As a reminder, we ask that all public speakers adhere to the MTA's rules of conduct and decorum. I would also like to remind our public speakers that, in the interest of time and fairness to all speakers, we limit everyone to 2 minutes. Please be aware of the clock in the front of the room and the warning light you will see, reminding you that you have 30 seconds left to conclude your remarks. The first speaker will be Christopher Greif, following will be Murray Bowden, followed by Alita Dupree.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Christopher D. Grive. I'm sorry I'm not there, but today I'd like to remind about motorcycles and these legal RVs. They are traveling on our bridges and tunnels. And right now, the concern of safety is as we work with our local precinct NYPD, we need the MTA to also please work together to get these legal motorcycles and these RVs out of danger. As people are traveling on the bridges or tunnels, we're trying to travel. We pay the tolls, we go through them, but we do need to be more safety and more carefully and be more alert. I'm asking the MTA to please help us out to get these legal motorcycles and on these RVs out of danger, out of the streets, out of the neighborhood, and maybe understand that there is a track for them, there is a racetrack for them, but not on our local streets as well. And I hope to see more proper lighting and more cameras in these bridges and tunnels to make sure that people are following the rules and regulation for safety when we travel on these bridges and tunnels. There are too many accidents, too many vehicles that don't follow the speed restrictions, and they need to do that today, as well as making sure our walkways are truly ADA accessible and proper lighting is up there. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Murray Bowden, followed by Alita Dupree.
Thank you. Good morning, Dave. Good to see you. Kathy. What you just read to me was we have a 2-minute limit here to follow the rules and stop speaking after 2 minutes. Well, bridges and tunnels with the lines on a road, the other things they do. We have buses that now look for people. They need to see a yellow line on the left and a white line on the right. Somebody once taught me that consistency is safety. The buses have to calculate where they are and see the people. But you're using rules and regulations that go back to 30, 40, 50 years ago that were never updated. You've got all kinds of technology going on, but you never corrected the lines from 30 years ago. So if you want safety, I guess it's Mickey McGuire said you follow the money. 3M Corporation went and put all those guide signs up there in high reflectivity so they could sell a lot of reflective material. You can see the sign, you just can't see the words. They point the arrows down. You can't line them up. If you gave us a sign that, like they have on the side of the road, that tells us where each lane goes, we're not stupid, we can count. I designed, with 2 other people, the dotted lines for auxiliary lanes, exit lanes. You don't put them in. So until you or somebody starts to follow the law as currently written, why do you expect anybody else? Yeah, I know it's buzzing, I'm not done. Which law you want me to stop, but you won't follow the law? If you don't follow the law, why should we?
Thank you.
Expect people to, no, I'm not
Please
done.
conclude your
I'm
remarks.
going to die soon. I'm going to be 90 in June. I may never get here again. You want to arrest me again? I'm here because the last time the MTA arrested me, the judge said, Mr. Bowden, case dismissed, go back and do exactly what you're doing. So what I'm doing is under the direction of a New York City judge who when you brought the case and had me arrested, told me to continue to do exactly what I'm doing.
Thank you,
Wanna
Mr.
arrest
Bowden.
me again? Be my guest.
Thank you, Mr. Bowden. The next speaker is Alida Dupree.
Thank you. Good morning to the chair. Alida Dupree for the record, she and her, and talk about bridge and tunnel today. How do we build the best bridge and tunnels we can? And I think we are. I haven't been on the bridges and tunnels in a while because I don't have a car, but maybe I'll get to use the express buses when I hopefully come to New York, coming up in maybe 2 weeks, and see what they look like. Hopefully we can get some new LED lighting on them, as may already have happened. I'm just thinking about the Bay Bridge here in San Francisco. They're doing a lot of work with lighting on it, some kind of new project. And Easy Pass recovery is absolutely essential because the money that we use is important to make sure that we keep these bridges and tunnels maintained. So we have to keep working on our recovery efforts. Emphasize that whenever somebody operates a motor vehicle on a public road, that there are privileges and responsibilities. So thank you for continuing your work with recovery. And in the agenda, I see something about the Nassau County Bridge Authority, Atlantic Beach Bridge. This is long overdue. And I look forward to hopefully being a presentation about this and implementing it. Because I think everybody on any toll conveyance anywhere should be able to use all electronic tolling. People don't carry money around like they used to. And it cuts down on traffic, and seeing videos of bridges without toll plazas. It just makes things easier. So I think my time is up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That concludes the public comment.
Paul, thank you. And I happen to agree with the last speaker regarding the speed and traffic flow with the Easy Pass. I'd like to have a motion on the minutes from last month's meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Any questions on the minutes? Okay, I'd like to turn it over to President Sheraton. And Murray, keep going. Stay healthy.
Thank you, Chair Mack. There are no changes to the work plan for 2023. Additionally, I've been advised that the fourth quarter 2022 diversity report for bridges and tunnels, which appears on page 56 of the committee book, will be discussed at the diversity committee later today. I'd like to start by sharing some photos of our agency's 90th anniversary commemoration from April 3rd. We had a great turnout and are pleased Commissioner Glucksman could join us that day and represent the board. It was truly a memorable gathering for B&T employees past and present. Archival photos filled the boardroom, and the unique and compelling history of the original Triborough Bridge Authority, which later became the Triborough Bridge and Tunnel Authority and now MTA Bridges and Tunnels, was shared with an engaged audience. I want to thank our program speakers, including MTA Chair and CEO Jano Lieber, Construction and Development Senior Vice President and B&T Chief Engineer Joe Keene, and the manager of the B&T Special Archive, Mary Hedge. A few days later, on April 6th, Mary and Special Archive Project Manager Nellie Hankins represented B&T at a virtual public presentation sponsored by the New York Transit Museum. The team treated viewers to a dynamic history lesson about our agency and its role in the development of New York City and the region, showing never-before-seen photos and documents from the archive. Thank you both for an informative presentation. Several weeks ago, I was pleased to spend time with our dedicated volunteers and donors at the B&T Blood Drive on Randall's Island. I was impressed by the effort and enthusiasm across all our departments to recognize and address this critical public health need. Thank you to each employee who donated life-saving blood and to the B&T staff who volunteered to coordinate this successful event. Finally, with the approach of Mother's Day next month, this is traditionally promised one of the highest volume traffic days for B&T crossings. It also signals the start of a seasonal shift in traffic as warmer weather moves in and recreational travel ticks up. The B&T workforce remains prepared and vigilant, as always, monitoring our facilities with the expectation of higher and varied volumes throughout the spring and ahead to summer, with safety as the highest priority. And as the nation observes work zone safety and distracted driving awareness campaigns in the month of April, and as Governor Hochul, who also drew public attention to New York State's strong commitment to these causes, the B&T team continues its daily focus on these critical issues, as you'll hear from our department leaders shortly. B&T work zone safety initiatives are also aligned with the significant amount of construction that MTA C&D executes on B&T facilities. Our C&D partners are in close communication with B&T leadership and our facility teams regarding the need for assistance and work zone speed enforcement to protect employees, consultants, and contractors from unsafe drivers. Starting this month, instead of the operations and safety data we've reported on in previous committee meetings, we plan to highlight various themes throughout the year, which our B&T leadership and staff are focused on to hopefully give you a deeper view into the workings of B&T. The traditional reports are still included in your committee books, and our department heads are here to answer any questions you may have. I'll now turn it over to Assistant Vice President for Safety and Health, Pashko Kamaj, to begin our presentation regarding B&T's coordinated approach to work zone safety and distracted driving.
Thank you, and good morning, board members. As Interim President Sheridan stated, we draw special attention every April to raising awareness regarding work zone safety. National statistics indicate that crashes within designated roadwork zones increased substantially in the past decade, increasing the relative risk of injury to workers performing maintenance on roadways. Controls to prevent work zone intrusions are routinely emphasized to employees and our customers. I'm pleased to report that B&T practices have largely been effective in limiting work zone incidents on our facilities. B&T Vice President Chief Safety Officer Eric Osnes recently addressed our maintenance workforce for an interactive safety talk, as you see in the photo below. Controls designated to modify driver behaviors through principles outlined within federal guidelines are reinforced to our employees during toolbox talks. These components consist of communicating with our customers, alerting them to work zones ahead, workers' use of protective reflective equipment, and establishing driver queues to allow for smooth redirection of travel to accommodate roadway operations. Planning is paramount, as these components are modified based on site-specific conditions such as speed limits and roadway geometry. These principles are also serve as conduit between B&T contractors and C&D management teams, so they may evaluate and enforce their work zone designs on our roadways. April is also designated as a National Safety Council to focus awareness on distracted driving, which is a primary contributor to work zone intrusions. We have emphasized to our employees that the two are not mutually exclusive, and that the communication with the motorist is key to modifying behavior. This was part of our field discussions to highlight challenges and the need to reinforce in place the roadway to overcome competing distractions. I want to emphasize that B&T employees who perform maintenance on our roadways perform their duties with the benefit of considerable experience in executing work zone configurations. I will now turn it over to Charlie Passarella, Vice President of Maintenance, who will discuss how our maintenance employees interface with our customers. Thank you.
Thank you, Pashko. Good morning, Commissioners. In addition to Safety and Health Vice President Eric Ostis addressing our maintenance employees on work zone safety, throughout the month of our maintenance superintendents also held safety meetings at all our facilities with our maintenance crews with special attention given to work zone safety. Specific topics covered were proper cone line tapers to provide customers plenty of advanced warning to recognize an upcoming lane closure, proper placement of attenuated trucks at the beginning of the cone line with flashing yellow arrow board lights indicating the direction of traffic movement, and proper placement of the truck at the actual work zone to protect our workers. Workers were reminded that under these conditions, they must always wear their protective gear, including high visibility reflective safety vests. The importance of staying alert when working on roadways was underscored, even when lane closures are set up properly. I would now like to play a short video clip which shows from a customer perspective what a proper cone line and work zone looks like. I will now turn it over to Richard Hildebrand, Vice President and Chief of Operations.
Thank you, Charlie, and thank you, Pashko. Our interdepartmental partnership is evident in all we do. And on behalf of operations, it's an honor to work with maintenance, safety and health, and C&D on these important customer and employee safety initiatives. The final piece in the work zone safety puzzle is enforcement. One way this is accomplished is through active enforcement of vehicle and traffic laws and other regulations. When our officers observe a motorist committing a violation, they may issue a summons or engage in other law enforcement actions as necessary, authorized, and appropriate. Passive enforcement measures within a work zone, as you see here in this photo, may also be executed by strategically posting marked vehicles with activated emergency lights or by deploying directed patrols to our roadways. The intent of passive enforcement is to bring awareness to motorists that they must follow all safety rules while on our facilities. This is especially important when driving near or around an active work zone. Our bridge and tunnel officers, sergeants, and lieutenants play a vital role in ensuring the safety of our maintenance and contractor workforce who perform duties on or adjacent to active roadways. Enforcement also enhances safety during incidents such as collisions, disabled vehicles, and debris removal. Our teams are trained in quick clearance tactics of New York State's Traffic Incident Management Program, also known as TIM. This training equips our workforce with the knowledge and equipment necessary to respond, mitigate, and recover from roadway emergencies while preventing consequent incidents that may impede the restoration of normal traffic flow and safety. Enforcement of posted speed limits, the safe movement amongst lanes, distracted driving, and the New York State Move Over law are part of our efforts to enhance work zone safety, not only during National Awareness Weeks, but each and every day. Under normal circumstances, speeding violations carry a heavy monetary fine and impose penalty points against a driver license. Not only can points increase a driver's insurance rate, but they also may lead to the suspension or revocation of driving privileges. Here you see an example of active speed enforcement within a work zone at the Marine Parkway Gil Hodges Memorial Bridge. When our officers determine a driver is speeding in a work zone, the vehicle is safely interdicted and a summons may be issued to the operator. Fines and points penalties for work zone violations are doubled. The penalties for work zone speeding violations may range from $90 to $1,200 and include an $88 court surcharge on top of that, and 3 to 11 driver penalty points, depending on the number of miles per hour over this posted speed limit. As April pairs Work Zone Safety Week with Distracted Driving Awareness Month, our officers will be out in force to make the roadways as safe as possible for everyone crossing our facilities or working in our roadways. It's the mission of MTA Bridges and Tunnels to bring stellar service to our customers via smooth, safe, and secure passage for each and every crossing. I thank you to our workers, our contractors, and all of our customers for banding together in this important effort. And this concludes my report.
Thank you. Are there any questions regarding work zone safety or distracted driving efforts? Commissioner Brown.
Yeah, well, I guess I'd like to compliment the cops and the operations department for the police interface on the work zone speeding and the and the higher fine schedule. And I'm probably aware that it's a big issue in Long Island now among the people in favor of speeding, whoever the hell they are. That there's a there's automatic enforcement that's set up around the work zones in Long Island where they just prop a camera up and shoot the speeders as they go by, and but they have a very low fine levels too to go along with it, and I just think it's much more effective what you guys are doing than what they're doing. And people will feel it more if they're pulled over by a cop, and the higher fine schedule, of course, will reinforce how important this is. They had a horrible accident, shouldn't say accident, I should say crash, I guess, last week in, I believe, Maryland or D.C. that killed a dozen workers. And work zone safety is critically important, and I don't know how your guys do it out there on the bridges. Sometimes people are very disrespectful the way they go around the workers. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown. Any other questions? Okay, Chair Mack, there are no procurements this month, but we have one action item which will be presented by Mike Manuni, Assistant Vice President for ITS and Tolling, and this is in regard to the Nassau County Bridge Authority Easy Pass program. I'd also like to recognize the Chair, Sam Namias, and Executive Director Ray Webb, and they've also got some additional staff here from the Nassau County Bridge Authority. Mike?
Thank you and good morning. We are asking the committee to authorize the interim president or her designee to take action as necessary to support the Nassau County Bridge Authority, NCBA, implementation of Easy Pass toll collection at its Atlantic Beach Bridge facility, which connects Lawrence and Atlantic Beach, New York. We are asking for approval so that, prior to their implementation, we can take steps to enter into an agreement allowing them to receive back-office system support from the New York Easy Pass Customer Service Center. Your approval would also allow us to sponsor the NCBA's affiliate membership in the Easy Pass Interagency Group, which consists of toll entities across 19 states that operate the Easy Pass electronic toll collection program. Our back-office support of the NCBA Easy Pass implementation would also further promote Easy Pass market share in the region. NCBA's Easy Pass program would be fully deployed and managed locally by their staff. Any of our costs, such as back-office services and staffing, would be reimbursed by NCBA pursuant to the written agreement. This action item is described in the committee report's staff summary on page 52 and is submitted for the committee's approval. Thank you.
Are there any questions before we vote on it? Yes.
Hi, thank you all for presenting this. I have a question about how reimbursement will work. Is there a certain timeline in terms of when reimbursement is expected? Substantial completion, halfway through? I'm just thinking about also, obviously, MTA finances.
Commissioner, we will look to a similar agreement that the New York State Thruway has with the New York State Bridge Authority, and the terms of that agreement will indicate how we are reimbursed and the frequency.
Okay, and is there any specificity to that? I'm just not aware enough of the details regarding that agreement. What is the general specificity of that
So we will
timeline?
we will be NCBA back office will be out. Any NCBA back office cost transaction processing will be allocated and reimbursed to MTA Bridges and Tunnels, and then any of our staff support will also be fully reimbursed to MTA Bridges and Tunnels.
Are there any other questions? You failed to mention the Rockaways come over to us as well. So we're really tied in, and I think this is a great addition to the system, and I'd like to take a vote on it now. Can I get a motion? Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Is there anyone, any other questions on it? Okay. We'll speed it up for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no further questions, this concludes B&T's report.
Oh, here I am, back again. Can I have a motion to adjourn? All in favor? Okay.
Aye.
Everyone have a good week.